how to mix some color pigments into 10 gels. So today I am going to use our Sculpt 2, but you can use your Poly Polish. You can use your Sculpt 1, which was the 10 original gel. But today I'm going to use the Sculpt 2, and I have two different pigments. I have Night Sky and I have a Super Duper Pearl. So I'm just going to show you. On a form, I use my form backings. I keep them so that I don't have to deal with a mess afterwards. I can just throw them away. You can see the imprint from the form center, and so that's a good idea of how much that I'm going to be using. So I'm just going to pick up. If I was going to do a full set, I would probably use approximately this much. So let's just place that on here so that you can have an idea of how much I've placed. Now with the darker pigment, I'm just going to go in and scoop up a little. I probably don't even really need that much because it is quite a pigmented pigment. So you can see how much one would last, a jar would last. And then I'm just going to place in and then just start to do my mixing. Now, I find that for me, when I spread it out like this, this is your true color. This is how much you're actually, what you're going to see. So you'll be able to see if it's translucent or if it's more opaque. If I feel like I wanted to have a little bit more, I would just add a tiny bit more. But you can see how the gel is still very movable. Oh wait, that was just my light, and it just blew big time. So you can still see that it's quite a nice stringy gel. If it was to get a little bit too thick and pasty, then you would just add a little bit more gel, pick up a little bit more gel to it. So now I'm going to change the look of that slightly just by picking up a little bit of the Super Duper Pearl and adding that in. So you can add and add and add and create completely different looks all the way through. If I wanted, I could keep adding until I get to the consistency that I like. So you can see how it's changing the color, the tone a little bit. So let's just go ahead and add a lot because I want you to see what happens when it gets thick. Even at this point it's still thick, but I'm still able to, and I'm just sort of mashing it in and spreading it around and mixing it up. So I've gotten a beautiful silvery, opaque look, almost chromy metal. It's beautiful. But it's still okay, even though it's still stringing, so it's still going to apply nicely on the nail plate. You'd have to add quite a bit, actually, which sometimes can happen if you get carried away and having fun at mixing and whatnot with a client. But you can see how I've completely changed the look of these colors, and it still is feeling fine to pick up and apply to a nail. It's not as stringy, but it still is. So you can see that there's quite a bit of lenience with adding pigments into our 10 gels. If it was to be a little bit too thick, then all you would need to do is just clean off your spatula, go back into your gel, pick up a little bit more, and just add it in simply as that. Then it becomes just that much more movable and pliable again. There you have it, a little bit on color mixing. Bye.